Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I'm Taylor Gonzalez, and today I have a very special guest. She is the writer, the director, and the producer of Apocalypse Love. Vera Vanguard, how are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. This is awesome. I follow you on Instagram and
Oh,
I see your adventures everywhere.
well, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate this. And I see you brought some guests along. Do you want to introduce them?
This is the cast of Apocalypse Love: Heathcliff, Spencer, the Doom Prepper Ace, our star Tom, Izzy, who I also voice, and the evil alien. It's a zombie alien emo gothic love story.
Perfect. And I actually had the opportunity to watch it. You sent me the screener link, which I appreciated it. It was a really fun movie. How did you come up with the concept of doing this?
I wanted to mishmash something really weird and geeky. And this was kind of like a COVID project where I'm like, how do I make a movie without people in it? And then I'm a puppeteer by trade, and it's like, ugh. So it was kind of like, cowboys and aliens. So it turned into zombies and aliens. Not the first one to do it. Of course, Ed Wood did that in Planet Nine, but, I'm right behind him.
For those out there who haven't had a chance to check it out, how would you describe your film?
It's an emo gothic love story set in a zombie alien apocalypse, done all practically with these doll puppets.
Ah,
So
it's
that's as close as I could get it in one sentence.
it's a mashup of a bunch of my favorite things. You have puppets, you have
Oh,
zombies, you have just a fun idea to mash everything together.
thank you. I think the story is really, really cute too. I mean, it's about this like weird triangle between the emo kid, the goth ex-girlfriend, and a dead ex-girlfriend that gets run over by a truck. But I don't want to give too much away.
What would you say is the best thing about working with puppets?
They don't forget their lines. They're always on. They get their cues as long as the puppeteers get them, and it's a short work day.
And what about the opposite? What do you think is the worst thing about working with puppets?
Well, they don't have any expressions, so it's all how you puppeteer them, like woo woo. So if the puppeteer is doing a good job, then the puppet's doing a good job. If we're not, then they're just like
Yeah. What got you into puppeteering?
I have spent the last 10 or so years, probably more, as a toy hand model. So when you watch commercials like Barbie, Bratz, Hot Wheels, on the close-ups, it's actual us grown-ups with little tiny kid hands doing all that close-up stuff. We're turning Barbie's head, we're like turning her arm, we're like launching the Hot Wheels to go, because kids, like actual children, have a time limit on set, and sometimes it's very, very technical what we're doing. Like I'm holding on to the head of something and I'm puppeteering it here and I'm watching a monitor. So it's like it's a very weird world and a very weird skill set. So that's how I got into it. Like I went from toys to like a full on, like I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. So this was my opus of weird.
And I read on your website about how you were a hand model and how you started out with working with these brands like Mattel and Barbie and everything. How did that happen? Because that is such a unique and interesting job.
It is. It's a very, you kind of fall ass backwards into it, because how does anyone know that they have little sausage like lady kid hands that could pass as a 10-year-old on screen? I was a pianist. I'm a third generation classical pianist. So I was like, oh, somebody must want musician hands. And so I sent a body parts agency a picture of my hands. And they came back to me and went, you have the most perfect 10-year-old boy hands we've ever seen. And I've been working in toy commercials ever since. The first job they sent me on was they flew me to Reno to do Narnia Prince Caspian toys. And I was like, I'm a jet set hand model. And it's been going on ever since.
Oh my gosh. Do you have a favorite job that you've done?
I'd say a lot of my jobs are really fun, but I'll tell you the worst job I ever did, which I
Uh-oh.
can't
Okay.
like. It wasn't the worst. It was like basically the hardest. I got a call from the producer of a commercial I was working on. It was for Ariel, and they needed me to swim Ariel under a big tank of water. And they called me and they're like, "Hey, do you have snorkel and goggles, and I'm like, yes, but why? And they're like, just bring them on set tomorrow. And the next day, I was fully submerged in a tank, hanging half out, half in, drowning as I'm swimming aerial through the water. There's photos of that on my Instagram somewhere at the very bottom.
Oh my gosh, what a unique day at work.
Yes, you never know. I never know
Yeah.
what I'm going to do. I never know what I'm going to work on. I just show up and do my best.
Oh, no, but that sounds fun to have. Yeah. I like that. Not knowing what to expect makes it,
Yeah,
more interesting.
yes.
So other than your film, do you have another favorite film that uses puppets?
Oh, yes. My very favorite of all time is Dark Crystal. That's kind of what started my life in loving this art form because Dark Crystal, have you seen it?
Yeah, I love Dark Crystal, but the Netflix series, I
No,
am so sad. Oh, you didn't like it?
no.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
so
you
sad
tell
that they
me.
canceled it.
Really? I
Yeah.
was like, I was, I loved how it looked, but I was disappointed with the story. I was like,
Oh
if
man.
if I was to say if I was to write the story, I would have written the beginnings of how they came down from the space and like became the mystics and the Skeksis. Like I would have written that origin story. That would have been more
Oh.
interesting to me. But
Hmm.
okay, okay. I was at the convention that was here, and I got to go to the studio here on La Brea, that the Henson Studios. That was my first time beyond the gates, and I'm just like, ooh. And they had the original puppets from Dark Crystal there, like all over the place.
Oh
Like
wow.
the what was the name of the lady with the horns? I forget.
Oh, Agra? Agra?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
Agra.
Yeah,
Agra
yeah.
was standing right there, like in a little in a case, and I'm just like,
That's so cool. Was that at the Skirball Museum?
no, it was here at their
Oh,
Jim
oh,
Henson
the Jim
studio.
Henson lot. Okay, because I went to something
Yeah, yeah.
similar. They had it at the Skirball Museum. They had some of them on display, and they had Kermit on display. It was crazy, but yeah, to see them in person is so cool.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Like we never grow out of that. Like as even when I bring these to like with adults around, the adults are actually more excited about it than the kids. The kids will be like, doll, and the adults are like, let me hold this child, and they like
Oh, that's fun. So I was wondering, like, I was trying to think of more questions involving puppets, right? And I was wondering if you have a movie that you love, but you think could be improved by replacing all the humans with puppets.
well, that's a difficult question because so many movies can be replaced with all puppets. But can you imagine like Die Hard but with puppets? Like
That'd be great. You could
come
even
to
have like the
LA,
same people
Princess.
voice them, but just instead of their
Yes.
bodies, yeah, it's
But can you
puppets.
imagine a Bruce Willis puppet?
Oh
Uh,
no. That'd be great.
or the Alan Rickman falling like but it's a puppet like
Oh my gosh.
during his death scene.
That would I would love that. I think Ghostface doing a Scream movie with puppets would be pretty fun.
Oh yes, 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 absolutely. I just want to see a little puppet with a knife. Like wait,
Yeah.
that's Chucky. Never mind. We've had that.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
Puppet Master, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, the Puppet Master movies are fun. All right. And then I was also wondering your all-time favorite puppet.
Oh my God, Miss Piggy, of course.
Ooh,
I I
perfect.
I identify with Miss Piggy. I just saw a documentary about her actually 2 days ago, and it was just like Miss Piggy changed the world. She really did. She was like a karate master and a beauty guru and a glam queen, like all a girl boss, like everything. She was everything, and it was like the 80s, and she already had it all figured out. You know.
All right. And then I know your film is also like horror-ish leaning. Do you
Yes.
have a favorite scary movie?
Hmm. I have seen a lot of really excellent new movies coming up that are like really scary, but I really enjoyed Megan and I really enjoyed Abigail of all things. I thought Abigail was so fun. I just wish I didn't know the little girl was, they gave away the farm when they said like, oh, she's a ballerina vampire. They gave away the farm.
I
I
know,
really
I
wanted
know.
to be surprised on that.
I love that movie, and everyone that I've talked to has said the same thing. Like they wish they didn't know that going into it, but I don't know how they would have marketed it. That's the only problem. You know what I mean? I don't know, but it would have been
I
nice if we just knew there was like something going on, but we didn't know exactly what, because the reveal would have been awesome. Just seeing it in the
Yes, I would
theater
have been
and
like,
not
oh
knowing
my
that.
God. Because that is such an interesting premise of
Yeah,
ballerina vampires. Like,
yeah.
ugh, yeah. Yeah, we'll hire a different marketing team for the next one, right?
Yeah, because it's hard not to give too much away in trailers, but I feel like yeah, lately a lot of them have been giving away way too much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then my favorite question to ask people is, do you have a favorite Halloween costume that you've ever dressed up as?
Well, I cosplay, so I have many. So, I go to Comic-Con. I know you just went to Comic-Con.
Mhm.
I go to Comic-Con a lot, and I go to LA Comic-Con now. And recently, I've been doing the blue Samus suit and the red
Oh,
Samus suit. So you can see me in both colors with the variants. But originally, my OG back in the day when cosplay wasn't even a thing was I did Tomb Raider, and I did the London level black cat suit with the side guns.
oh,
Remember that
nice.
old PS3
Hmm.
thing?
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, I like
That's
that.
my favorite.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a fun one.
And what's funny? At the time, I was a redhead, so it kind of went right along into same suit, different accessories, Black Widow, but old school
Oh.
Black Widow with the little the gold belt and
Mhm.
the little things. And I was already a redhead, and I'm Russian, so I speak it, and I'm like, yeah. So it
Oh,
was
that's
like
cool.
perfectly made for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Where can people check out your film Apocalypse Love?
It's playing on Amazon. You can get a Blu-ray, DVD, or stream it, or you can stream it for free on Momitu, which is like a free streaming service of all kinds of wild movies. Highly recommend it.
Perfect. I will make sure to put a link to the video in the description of this. And also, while I have you, did you want to talk a little bit about your upcoming project, Treasures of Terror?
Oh, I do. It's coming out in October. I play Seduce Your Darkly. And I'm homaging, like, if I was a bargain basement Elvira, but like blonde. Like, I am fully homaging Elvira. I mean, you, how can you not?
Yeah,
I
she's like my all-time favorite.
fully admit it. It's like I'm just trying to be exactly. She's the queen, and I'll be like the mid-level princess. It's fine. I'll be in the bargain basement princess of horror. But it's an anthology series. We just finished taping the first volume, and I'm the hostess, and I do little skits between film shorts. So it's not a full feature. It's little film shorts that they cut out with me in the intermedium, doing all sorts of fun things with like ghouls and ghosts and drinking wine and talking to werewolves and telling little cute stories about dating.
Oh, that'll be fun. Where can people check that out?
I don't know yet, but
Okay.
Leomark Distribution is distributing
Ooh.
it. I assume it will be available on DVD and streaming somewhere, but check out my socials. I will definitely be listing that out because it's just way too wackadoodle not to promote.
Yeah, it looks fun. I'll make sure to put a link to your Instagram in the description of this video as well so people can keep up with your upcoming projects. But Vera, thank you so much for joining me, and to all of
Yay!
your guests behind you, thank you for coming as well. It was really nice to catch up with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Taylor.